This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24. Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings-on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 8th of March 2020 and we're going to jump straight into it with some ESP releases from the artist formerly known as Old Prop Simulations Parallel 42. They've come to and brought their, I want to say brought to life, but you know, it's kind of just a reboot here. So they've got their 737 Immersion Pack V2, which basically brings it in line with the PMDG's reboot of their 737 product for the NGXU. So in case you've been hiding under a rock or don't really care for tube liners, PMDG end of last year they pulled their 737 NGX product from sale and replaced it with the NGXU, basically causing every user to have to pay a butt ton of money for some bug fixes. Beyond that, as I said, they pulled the old one from sale, put the new one out. That's fine. Parallel 42, then, which is previously known as Old Prop Simulations, they had one of their biggest best-selling products was their immersion pack for said PMDG 737, which basically gave you a whole heap of visual effects and eye candy effects for various stages of flight of the 737. Which is very highly profitable. It's a great quality product from them. Does a lot of beautiful beautiful things, including volumetric lighting and a lot of smoke and fog effects, which are really beautiful. Some rain effects and stuff like that. It's cool. But of course, when PMDG pulled their old 737 and brought the NGXU, it was no longer compatible. So this version 2, this is essentially a re-release of their original product. However, they did actually put some new content in there. Now, in terms of existing content, I said all the old favorites are coming back, including your wing condensation, your brake dust, engine condensation, engine effects during cold and wet weather scenarios, brake dust, all that kind of stuff. That's all coming through. A couple of new features are coming though, and which actually are kind of impressive though. So the first one, the one that I'm actually excited about, is the St. Elmo's fire rendition, which is kind of cool. And the screenshot that they shared, it shows it actually St. Elmo's fire cracking over the cockpit windshield. That looks really exciting, really cool. They've also got another couple of interesting effects as well. The fuel overflow effect, where basically if you fill up the tanks completely full, and 737 actually can't completely contain all of that, so it actually discharges some of that fuel through a fuel dump port in the wings, so you'll be able to see that. And there's also a new cold weather effect for the APU during a cold start process. So yeah, a couple of new features. Otherwise, it's the same old beast as before, but brought in line to work with the NGXU. Now, this is a brand new product, but it is a brand new product. Now, as far as I can tell, this one's only available for sale via the Orbix's Orbix Central platform, and installed via that platform for Parallel 42. Now, it is available for $29 US, and it looks like there is no discount for previous owners of the product. So definitely taking a leaf out of PMDG's pricing book there. So if you have purchased if you do want to have these effects on your NGXU, you are paying full price again. No upgrade path is available. And as I said, what's interesting as well is that they haven't, although this is a update of the product to do that, they are not retrofitting those these new effects onto the older products. So there you go. Rightly or wrongly, it is what it is. If you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up available from orbixdirect.com from there. You can pick it up via orbixdirect.com. Alright, okay, that's that one out of the way. Moving from airborne releases into scenery releases, but sticking with Prepared V4 exclusive releases. The guys over at Latin VFR have released their latest scenery, which is their release of Fort Lauderdale. Blah. Cool, talk about tongue-tied this morning. So their release of that Fort Lauderdale Airport for Prepared V4. Now this one is a airport that services Miami and their neighboring areas. Is fully supported of international and domestic flights, including a variety of carriers, including JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, and Spirit Airlines. So probably have more heavily focused on the budget carriers. So there you go. Now, including that, not only does it cover the airport as well, it also includes over 30 square miles of photoreal scenery coverage of the city of Fort Lauderdale as well, which is kind of cool. All airport buildings, all airport layout is as it appears at the end of 2019. We are looking at all airport buildings have been included and coated with PBR materials. Also, ground poly is also done with native PBR materials as well. There's a interesting thing here as well, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. I should really read up more on this tech, is that they have also modeled a sloped runway for 28 left, 10 right. And that sloped runway also still supports AI traffic, which has always been one of the bugbears of the ESP platforms, that if you had managed to put in a sloped runway, it would never be used by AI traffic. So it's kind of cool that they've managed to actually do that. I really should look at more technology behind that. Anyway, as I said, also covers the whole of the airport. All airport buildings are included, and the surrounding city of Fort Lauderdale, including its 30 square miles of photoreal coverage. A variety of key buildings have been custom modeled and put in as well for visual reference. Includes full support SODE content, including animated PBR jetways, SEO-controlled lighting based on weather and environmental conditions, and a range of SODE-controlled rain effects, enabling wet PBR services as well. Custom modeled and animated airport vehicles, and slippery conditions when it is wet on the ground as well, which will affect your braking action. So a lot going on in this add-on here, coming in for a pretty standard price from these guys, coming in at $26 US, available now from Latin VFR. Alright, continuing on with Prepared V4 senior releases, the guys over at Akesoft have come out with their latest release, which is for the airport of La Juliana in Spain. So this is in the province of Seville, in the autonomous region of Andalusia in southern Spain. And this was a basic GA aircraft here, which is kind of cool, kind of basic. It's basically home to a lot of skydiving activities. So you see a lot of light GA aircraft, maybe a couple of sort of turboprops will come through every now and again. Modeled in 4K textures, airport layout as it appears at the end of 2019. Single runway ops, full all airport buildings modeled, done in 4K textures, PBR materials, full support dynamic lighting, and an SODE implementation for windsocks, custom vegetation, and apparently this is their sort of their preview release, because shortly they're sort of focusing on that Andalusia region at the moment, because their next product that they've keyed and they've noted will be the next one they'll be releasing will be Seville's main international airport. So kind of cool. Look forward to see that one out. So if I want to pick this one up, this one's available from Sim Market, coming in about $15 US, or your regional equivalent, available now from Sim Markets. Continuing on with releases, this time releases for the entire ESP family, so everything from FSX all the way through to Prepared V4 and everything in between, comes to us from Technobrain with their latest city airport release of Osaka City X and Yao Airport. So this is a very popular, very famous GA airfield in Japan. It's been likened to the Japanese version of Meigs Field in Chicago in the US. Now this is a airport that's, as I said, primarily services for GA aircraft, but has also been used by the Japanese Self-Defense Force as well. Dual runway ops, home to a couple of training schools. Kind of interesting approach there. But the biggest part of this one is that it also covers the city of Osaka. So it's probably more of a city add-on that also includes an airport, this one. So this one uses, what's interesting though is that the rendition of the Osaka city does not use photoreal scenery. It still uses custom curated ground textures, but doesn't use photoreal, which is kind of an interesting one here, which it depends on your school of thought about whether or not it's a performance layer or not. However, all your major, all your buildings and autogen have been hand placed, and a whole slew of custom models have been produced for major buildings within the city of Osaka. So it's an accurate airport as it appears in 2019. Update of night lighting techniques and runway lighting is all included as well. Updated to the latest official documents from the airport. Includes enhanced ground textures and autogen buildings for the entire city of Osaka, with the landmark buildings added in as well, as I said before. Also includes dynamic lighting for Prepared V4s and is fully compatible with Orbix's FTX Global Base and more as well. So if you wanted to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for, so normal price on this one is $40 from Sim Market, but I've got a launch special at the moment for $30 US, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with ESP releases, and this one is not quite sure what to make of this release. So this is there's literally like a half dozen lines in the release about this one. So this is the release of San Pedro Airports for the ESP platforms. Now, San Pedro Airport is the airport that serves Abidjan, which is the capital city of the Ivory Coast Republic of the Ivory Coast. That's kind of it. Like literally that's all I've got. Like there's just literally no details. It says it includes a large land class, apron, very realistic, and photorealistic scenery. It says nothing about how much area that covers. It says nothing about is it really anything. And the airport, just looking at the screenshots that are supplied, it's like the airport's got a half dozen buildings and all they've used are standard like default objects. They haven't used any custom modeling at all. They've just updated the taxiways, if that. So just buyer beware probably on this one is all I'm going to say. As I said, I'd love to have give you better information, but there is nothing on this, like nothing. And considering the price point is $17 from Sim Market, I'd be expecting at least custom sim objects, but what I can tell from the 5 screenshots that they've released is that they're using default prepared objects or default FSX objects. So anyway, if you have grabbed this scenery and you've got more information about it, please put a link in the description down below. I'd love to hear more about your experience. But I'm honestly gonna say buyer beware of this one. I really am. So there you go. Anyway, yeah. So as I said, but if you are wanting to give it a risk, you're looking at $17 or your regional equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Moving out of the ESP platforms, moving into the world of X-Plane, saw a couple of scenery releases this week. The first one being the release of Frasca Field in Illinois, which is a privately owned public use airport in Illinois, owned by the FBO, which is Frasca Air Services. This one comes to us, I don't even know the name of the developer, to be honest. Oh, sorry, Flight. Flight is a developer. There you go. Not really much about that. I haven't really heard of these guys before. I think they're new on C. Guess we'll know. Very minimalist. Again, very light information. This one, however, this one looks like it's modeled beautifully, like really high definition, like models, ground clutter. Looks like PBR texturing throughout the entire all the ground objects as well, which is kind of cool. Includes a ultra high definition rendition of Frasca Field, full PBR integration for all objects, highly detailed textures, hand painted ground textures, and realistic night lighting included as well. So this one's coming in, especially as I said, it's a GA airfield. Not much to it here, single runway ops. I'll be looking at $10 or your regional equivalent, available now from xplane.org. And the other release for X-Plane 11 scenery this week, we saw the guys over at Orbix port over their rendition of Bar Harbor Airport over into the X-Plane 11 platform. Not really going to sort of say too much of this one because other than this is, Orbix have advised that this is a direct port of their previous ESP platform release with no updates and no modifications. So the original was developed by Alex Jeff, as I said, and released back in 2016. Includes airport photoreal scenery for the airport, and then it also includes a photoreal for about 500 square Ks around the airport and around the island as well. Custom HD models. Does look like they have put in full PBR texturing as well, which is kind of cool as part of the update, and it does some and also incorporates X-Plane 11 lighting as well. So there has been some modifications, but as I said, the actual content is still dated back to 2016. So just sort of, again, be aware of that. If you want to pick this one up, you're looking about about $20 US or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Moving on to AeroFly FS2 releases this week. So the guys over at France VFR have coming over and playing with AeroFly FS2 now instead of just the ESP platforms like previously by releasing their Paris Île-de-France release for scenery, which basically gives us the city of Paris and the surrounding area. So gives us gives basically the city of Paris and a bit more of the surrounding areas as well, including a range of airports. Now this gives you custom terrain mesh of 4.5 meter resolution over the entire scenery. You're looking at ground textures assembled from photoreal imaging ranging from 25 centimeter per pixel to 1 meter per pixel resolution, depending on the area. Includes all of the buildings in the city have been all the major buildings and obstacles in the VFR landmarks have been included, including antennas, towers, water towers, wind turbines, and various construction projects as well. So there's a lot going on there. Thousands of objects and custom POI buildings have been incorporated into the scenery. Include 3 high detailed airports of Longis, Saint-Cyr, and Toussus airports will be modeled in high definition. Charles de Gaulle, Orly, and Le Bourget are modelled just with the basic main buildings for that one. Includes updated dense vegetation modeling as well, based off the IGN satellite data as well. So looking pretty cool. As I said, France VFR have done a lot of really good quality work over the years for the ESP platforms, and have been quite well renowned for doing their content, especially with some of the newer technology they've been implementing over the last couple of years. Now, it's also done in 4K resolution, for you can actually fly through there in VFR. So if you're looking at aeroflying in the AeroFly FS2 world, this probably is one that you might be something a little bit different and kind of cool to fly in. So might be wanting to check that one out. If I want to pick this one up, you're looking at, it normally does retails for $35. It's on a launch special this week for $30, available now on Steam. Moving out of the flight sim world, we're sticking with aviation for a subject matter. We saw the release out of early access this week of Sim Airport. So Sim Airport is kind of reminds me of, and in a way, kind of reminds me of SimCity back in the the original release of SimCity. Not the reboot from a couple of years ago, but the original sort of top-down view before isometric or 3D or anything like that. But on a more finite level. So essentially, you basically start with a flat piece of land, and then you start to build your airport. And you do everything from, you build terminals, taxiways, runways, you do the kiosk, the shops, concession, how you manage your traffic flow of your passengers, of your aircraft, your fuel, everything like that. There's a lot going on here to simulate if you are into that sort of personal level economy simulator. So yeah, kind of cool, kind of weird. Not for me, but might be for you. As I said, this has been in early access for about 3 years now, so it's been around for a while, and they're slowly bringing it to life. And it has this really cutesy sort of cartoony graphic style, which I think kind of plays really, really well. And it's kind of interesting. As I said, it's interesting, it's different, and gives you an idea of what an airport actually feels like, or to run it, but not. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So yeah, it comes out. It's basically, as I said, it's been in pre-release. It's been in early access for 3 years. Finally hit to the full release this week. You're looking at $25 or original equivalent to pick that one up. It does come out with a day one DLC, which is kind of interesting. So this is the Sim Airport Frequent Flyer Pack. Basically, you don't really get much for this. So this is basically $9, but what it does do is it gives you a range of cosmetic upgrades to your experience. Gives you 19 objects, a variety of things, just all cosmetics, doesn't really do anything. But what it does do, however, if you are interested, is that it actually allows you to submit your name to be submitted as one of the passengers that will travel through everybody's airport. So it's not just your airport, but everybody's airport. So no, it doesn't really go through the process. I'm assuming there'll be something in there, but it basically gives you the opportunity to actually, you give them your name. It doesn't have to be your real name. It can be your gamer name or whatever, but it just must be all ages friendly. And there you go. A couple of days for them to review it. They review every name, and they will put it through there as come through there. So, which is kind of cool, kind of weird, kind of awesome. remembering the like how you can name the soldiers in XCOM here. But anyway, there you go. So yeah, if you like Sim Airport and you want to support it, support the devs with something cosmetic and have your name immortalized in a top-down sim, this might be the way to go. So as I said, base game coming in at $25 and expansion coming in for $9 if you want to support the devs. Available now on Steam. Continuing on with simulation, but moving into the permanent way with some releases from Dovetail Games for their train simulator this week. The first one is interesting. Okay, so this is it's Great British Railway Journeys is what it's called, and I have questions. So basically, for those who may not know, Great British Railway Journeys is a TV series that came out on BBC Two about 12 years ago, I think. About 10, 12 years ago. And it spun off a series of spin-off shows as well, where basically they took a guidebook from 18 something, George Bradshaw's handbook of 1850, I think 1840, 1850, something like that, which is basically a comprehensive guide to British railways and timetables and things like that, and actually making suggestions for people if they wanted to tour the British Isles by train. They could actually do so using this guidebook and actually various places you can stop around the United Kingdom. And basically, the premise of the show was that they found the original show was that they would be sort of send a famous person off on a train journey on a line, and it would be a little bit of a special. Then it spawned a series where somebody actually went through this handbook and would actually do a series of journeys through it. And the first few seasons used the 1840s handbook, and then after that they went through various other editions over as the years have gone on, and just exploring different parts of the British rail system. It then spun off a series of ones. There was Great American Rail Journeys, Continental Rail Journeys. I think they even managed to do an Australian series, I think, which seems a little bit odd, but anyway, a lot of freight trains in Australia, but that's about it. Anyway, so the premise behind it is basically this is officially sanctioned by the BBC. This is it's actually based on the BBC program. But what is it really? Really, all it is your base train simulator game, not even Train Sim World, like the old style train sim, and 5 railway lines that are already part of the Train Sim stable of DLC. So the East Coast Main Line, Great Eastern Main Line, Portsmouth Direct Line, Cheltenham Main and Medway Valley lines, and Settle to Carlisle line, with their associated trains that go with it. And it's $45 for that. If you don't own Train Simulator already, then you get a limited version. You get Train Simulator with those 5 pieces of DLC, like with the trains that go with it. That's all you get. If you're an existing owner of Train Sim, this will add those 5 lines to your collection if you don't already have them. My problem with this is that this is all it seems to be. It doesn't actually seem to do anything from the story. It doesn't seem to give you any journeys, any narrated story, any scenarios. It is quite honestly lazy. And I'm going to call this for what I get that Train Sim is a unique thing and all that, but this seems to be a lazy production because they're just recycling add-ons which are up to, I think one of them dates back to 2013. So we're talking add-ons that are 6-7 years old that we probably aren't selling at the moment. We're recycling them and slapping together and putting a new sticker on the outside and saying it's a new product when it's not. So I have a problem with that. And if it included the 5, these five pieces of train DLC and whatever, and included new story and new scenarios and new things that give you little tidbits and actually say took from the episodes of the TV show that actually featured these lines, then I'll be a little bit more forgiving. But this really, and there doesn't seem to be any discount if you own some or all of this content already. So, I will be really, really cautious about picking this up because, as I said, this seems to be really. This is lazy money grabbing, is what this appears to be. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong, but reading through everything I'm seeing here, not good. Not good. So just definitely, this is definitely a case of buyer beware. So $45. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that, move on. Alright, in other train simulator release news this week for the Classic Train Sim 2020, we're looking at the sort of release of a new train this week of the East Midlands British Rail Class 222 Diesel Electric Motive Unit. This is part of the Pro range of trains from Dovetail Games. Includes a highly accurate rendition of the British Rail Class 222 Meridian class of trains. 27 of trains are in this one. This comes to us from developer Just Trains as well, by the way. Includes a highly authentic modelling of all train systems, including a fully modelled and accurate authentic cold and dark startup procedure, simulated train management system, auto slow speed function, NRN radio test call functions, and realistic handling characteristics as well. Along with this also includes 10 scenarios as well. Like a lot of content with the train simulator, it requires you to have other content to be able to make the most of the included scenarios. To use included scenarios, you need to have either the Midland Main Line and or the ECML London Peterborough route, just so you're aware. Otherwise, looking pretty good, pretty standard pricing for this one, coming in at $33 US or the original equivalent, available now on Steam. And finally, rounding out the NovaWrap for this week, we have two titles that I honestly I am not sure if I want to include in the video or not, but I'm going to include it because I always promise to give you guys the news. So we have two walking simulators this week. I kid you not, they are walking sims. So the first one actually is called Walking Simulator. Free-to-play title. I'm just literally reading directly from the summary, the about this game content. The year is 2020. World War III and the coronavirus destroyed the civilized world. So, folks, we've only got a few months left. Get your affairs in order. You are the last post carrier, tasked to get parcels from point A to B in the most barren and desolate places on Earth. Get ready to combat the weather, terrain, and gravity itself. Can you help humanity rebuild, or will this task be too much? I have questions. Honestly, this very much seems to be in that vein of streamer fodder, but weird. Probably going to end up posting something about it just because it's crazy. So yeah, could be interesting. There you go. It's free, so at least you're not going to blow any money on it. That's a joke. But anyway, moving on. Okay, in the other one actually looks to be a bit more interesting. So the other walking sim that we have is called Merendel Iceland. I'm certain I have pronounced that incorrectly. Now this one's interesting. So this again this to me looks like a technology demonstrator, is what this one looks like to me. So this uses the Unreal 4 engine, and looks basically it's somebody journeying through Iceland, and it said it's inspired by Iceland's unique landscape and the colors found there. It's, as I said, it looks and feels like a technology demonstrator for Unreal 4. Now, what's interesting about this one is designed for both standard play and VR play, VR experience. The core game in 2D, like in your normal flat screen, 3D but 2D, flat screen, that is free. However, if you want to enable VR support, you have to buy, you have to pay $5, which I have mixed feelings about. I don't see why. If you're going to charge, then probably charge for the whole lot. But Yeah, so not quite sure about that. As I said, especially considering that this looks to be a technology demonstrator. So the base, as I said, the base game is free, but if you want to add VR, for those of you who use VR, then you're gonna have to pay that's $5 Australian. So that's about $3 you're gonna have to pay US to get that one. So mixed feelings about it. But there you go. Maybe try the non VR version first to see if you want to splash the cash. There you go. Anyway, with those two interesting titles, that rounds out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.